Okay, so welcome back to the part 3 of us, you know, configuring our Ubuntu Node.js server to host a WebSocket game, talk of war math game to enhance mathematics for primary school students. Okay, so in the two previous video, I think I gave you an overview of the whole project. In part 2, we had to, launch our Ubuntu Node.js server. Okay, on AWS management console by using Ubuntu. And now in the part 3, we need to configure it. And you should please take note, as I said, you need to connect using PuTTY. That is a secure and best remote way to do so. You can use any method of your choice, but that is the method I use. And also don't forget, attach a .pem file to your Ubuntu server and convert it using PuTTygen to PPK, and you connect it because you are going to need that .pem file ahead. Okay, so don't forget that part. So just to confirm again, we have logged into our EC2 OT. So I'm just going to expand this. Okay, I'm going to expand this so that you see well our EC2 is still running. Now, you can as well go to the internet and gather all the steps needed to set up a Node.js, a PMP for managing a Node.js server, installing Git and all the rest. Okay, but as I said, there is a document generated by me after I tested my site and it's working. So these are the things you need to do. First, you need to update and install dependency. Okay, you need to update and install your EC2. Now, this is going to be fast because most of the time AWS will give you the most recent and updated version of their server. So when you issue that two commands, sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrades, and the -y simply means if there's any step where you need to ask your approval to either type yes or no, just go with yes. So this is going to update our Ubuntu server. It's going to take some time, okay? So you can pause this video and only continue when it's done based on how fast your internet is. So our Ubuntu has been updated and upgraded, okay, successfully. So let me just clear chat by typing clear. So still following our documentation for now, we need to install Node, okay, by using curl. We're going to get Node from the official Node site. Okay, then we are going to install. Okay, we get using this command, like download it from a public server into your EC2. Then nowadays we're going to sudo apt install. It's a Debian based operating system, so that's why we are using apt. Okay, if you're using the other one, remember yum can be used on other ways. So I'll simply say copy and paste, and okay, it's a depreciated warning. Yeah, Node.js blah 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 no longer actively supported. Okay, but if you want to use it, it's going to proceed. So they are telling you that Node.js 18 plus X. So this basically means that the setup. So let me just why it's installing. Let me just go back. So you have to change this for yours. When I was doing this, I had to use the Node 18.11. Okay, so let me just let me open CMD and actually check the present nodes that I have installed locally. It's not the most active. Okay, so Node is presently 24, version 24. So I have the most recent one installed locally on my PC, version 24.13.1. So, but when I was doing this online, I used 18. So you can modify this and use the most recent version. Okay, that is why AWS had to warn us above here is depreciated. There will be some critical security, blah blah blah, and all the rest. But take note, change this and use the most recent. You can verify from the official website. But nevertheless, it has been installed again. So I'm going to clear this. And our next command will be to install Nginx. Okay, we're going to install Nginx, which is our remote proxy server. So we copy and paste. Okay, if you're not comfortable copying and pasting, just type sudo apt install nginx-y. Okay, that is basically it. So Nginx has been installed. The next, we need to install PM2. So PM2 is basically a process manager for Node.js application. So as you can see here, it acts like a supervisor that keeps your Node.js alive. Okay, so you need this so you can copy. Remember, anything you see that start with a hash is a comment. And after that, we are going to install what Git. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm going to clear. I'm going to install my PM2. It's going to take some time, so we are going to pause this video and only return when it's done. So our PM2 has been installed successfully. So I'm going to install sudo apt install git -y. Oh, sorry. So we need to install git. So git has been installed successfully. So let's go back to our tracker, and that is it. The dependency has been installed all. So the next part of this video, we need to generate an SSH key for Git. Okay, because we will need to log into Git, and using the username and password is no more acceptable on I don't know if it's all Ubuntu servers, but most of them. So first, you need to generate this SSH key. Secondly, we're going to verify that the key exists. If it does, then we are going to copy it and go to our Git. So the first thing we do is oh, sorry. So let me just, I think it's a network timeout session problem. So so whenever it happens like that, what I always do is I close, I open putty, so go get my public IP again. Now what you can do is you can save the session, okay? So that you don't, if the IP doesn't change, you can just easily, so you can save this session. You can I don't know what you want to call it. You can save this session if you want, so that whenever you need it, you don't need to do the same. So we open Ubuntu, it opens. So let me just expand it again for proper visibility. Perfect. So we were here, so we copy to generate our SSH key. Okay, it has been generated, so just enter yes, no passphrase for now. Okay, and that is it. You can put a passphrase if you want, but we don't need it. So our next, we need to verify by using the cat command to show the key. You should at least have some basics when it comes to Linux command to know what sudo means, what cat means, and all the rest. So we need to display this by using the cat command. So this is basically the key we generated. So I'm going to copy. I've copied the key. I can open Notepad or any editor of my choice. I paste the key there because we are going to need it. So that has been done. Copy. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to go to GitHub. Okay, GitHub settings, and we access SSH and GPG key, and we have to create a new SSH key. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, so go back. This is my GitHub, remember. So you can, there are multiple ways to access settings. So let me just come here, take note of the steps. Okay, GitHub settings, blah blah blah, a new key. So let's wait. So we go verify again, settings, SSH. So we have to locate that. It should be somewhere. So what you need to do is you need to go back to home. So just go back to home, click on your profile, you take the settings, don't access settings from the repo. Okay, access settings from the home. Okay, that is it. And we're going to create a new. So you see here, I have one already. That is for the previous project that I did. Okay, and yeah, that is for the previous project that I did. Let me just delete this. Deleting might take more time. Okay, deleted already. So I'm going to create a new one. Remember, you need to create a new one. Okay, you copy this, which we have copied. Here is it. So Control Alt, Control Copy, and you need to come here and put it here. So we go back. You need to put the key here. Okay, you can call it SSH. Or what I always do is, what I do is I come here. Remember, I always give it this name, EC2 deploy key, so that when I see it, I know. Okay, I call it EC2 deploy key, and I add SSH. Okay, so we are done with that part. The next part we need to do is, this way I'm going to skip this. It said test. You can, yeah, you can test. You should see. So let's just test before we, start cloning stuff. So I'm going to paste this and are you sure? Yes. They're asking for question. Type yes. Perfect. So that is it. You have successfully authenticated, but GitHub does not provide shell access. Yeah, forget about that. So we have successfully authenticated ourselves. So we need to go now by doing what? We need to clone the GitHub repo. Okay, we need to clone this. So how do you clone? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm go back, access my repository. Don't just copy the command you see there. Go back, access your repository. That is it. The private repository. Now, when you're there, go under code and you copy this. Obviously, copy this. So the key difference here, you need to remove the HTTP that is in front. As simple as that. Okay. So we come here, we type sudo, remember type sudo as you see here. So you can put sudo. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it's always advisable. Sudo git clone space the URL. So sudo is just, I hope you know the meaning of sudo super user. And I'm going to paste this. So I'm going to go back and put it on G and remove all this HTTP, and I hit enter. They say command not found. Oh, so I think I know where the problem is coming from. Field repository blah 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 does not exist. Wow. Okay, so let's verify what is wrong. Let's see what is wrong. Let's see what is wrong. Let's see. I think I know where the problem is coming from. So I go back and okay, so after troubleshooting, basically the issue was here. So let me just show you. So let me clear this. So I press my up arrow key. So this is actually the command that we needed to use. So git space clone git at github.com. So the problem was actually here. Okay, the period sign. So if we go back some step backward, you will notice yeah, the difference was this. Okay, so and don't use sudo simply because of where SSH file is being stored. Don't use sudo. So this is the right command. Okay, don't put sudo, and you're going to, so let me go back. So this is the right command. So git space clone git at github.com. Now period, the username of your GitHub account, my name is Synthetico / the name of the repository.git. Okay, you can copy this from your repository right up to here, right up to this git, this can be copied, and you just add this other part. So if I minimize and go to my let me go to my repository. Yep, let me go to my repository and show you again under here. So when you copy, you have to replace this. Take note, don't just copy and you need to replace this. Okay, so that's basically that is why you see it here. So git, there's a space here, I think this is exactly where the problem came from. So I need to modify this. I need to modify this on the documentation. Okay, git clone. You replace this with your username. Go get the username, and yep, that is it. So that has been done. The next command we need to do is we just have to issue this command. We log in, like change directory, and go to this, and we are going to install npm. So I don't need this anymore because it has been cloned already. Okay, so you basically do this and we wait. So 16 packets are looking okay. That's been done, and you can see here this is our working directory. Okay, list, these are the files in it. Okay, our working directory is this new one, the new directory we created. So next on our list, we need now to start PM2 that was going to manage our PM2 used to manage our Node.js servers. Okay, so we're going to start this and we're going to test it locally. So let's go back to our console and we do this. So we start this and we wait. So it will take some time. So PM2 has started already. As you can see, our Node.js server is up, the name talk of war, and the status is online. So I'm going to clear this. You can as well, okay, issue this command to view to make sure your PM2 server is up and it is online. The PM2 list, you can issue that command. So now we can let's try to test it locally and see something. Yeah, that is it. It returns the the HTML body of our site. So by testing it locally for now, but now we want to access it using a remote, sorry, a reverse proxy. So we will need now to install what Nginx. Okay, we don't have any domain name for now. So as I said, so first we are going to do this. You can remove, okay, first by starting by removing the default Nginx site. Okay, then you're going to create a new one and you're going to do this. Okay, it's advisable to do that. I faced a lot of difficulties because I did not remove the default site. So they said command not found. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So I go back. So you see this thing, you need to be vigilant. Okay, you really need to be vigilant. Don't just copy and paste. That's why you need to master some of this command. So it's sudo remove. Okay, sudo remove, R for remove. So now we need to configure a new one. Okay, sudo nano is a text editor, so it opens something like this. You need to be very careful when manipulating here. Some people are not comfortable, so what I always advise is you copy, as I said. Now we don't have any domain, so we'll copy and paste as it is. When you have a domain, you need to replace this underscore with your domain name, like tdemi.com, talkofwar.com. It all depends. So I don't have any domain, so I'm just going to paste. So when you copy, just come here, you right click and paste. Press Control X, and it's going to ask you, do you want to save? You type Y and you hit enter and it's going to save. So if you issue the same command, you're going to see that. Okay, and Control X to exit. So we have successfully configured our Nginx. Okay, so what is trying to tell us that through port 80, which is going to listen with what, any URL, any address, because we don't have any domain name, in our case the public IP. Okay, it should locate what, the location of what it needs to get, the site, the content should come from this, as you can see. Okay, and we need now to enable what, we have to enable our what, our Nginx site. So as I said, when you copy stuff, you might issue and they say, as you see here, command not found. I knew he's going to do that because I already could, so remember there's a space after sudo. Sudo it's a command on its own, then you're going to add what you want to add there. So the next command after that is sudo nginx, and it's a test field. I don't know why. Let me see something. restart. Okay, it failed, so I need to know why. Perfect. So I think I have to copy that. Time to do some troubleshooting if it fails again. Yep, so we need to verify. Okay, so I think I found the command. Now, whenever you're blocked with such scenario, if you're not versed with errors and other words, just simply copy it and go to any area of your choice to verify. So the command comes from the Nginx, the nano Nginx. Yeah, so this is basically where the problem is coming from, this backtick. So I had to use this backtick just to elaborate some stuff. So what I'm going to do is, so I'll basically just delete everything from here. Okay, so just delete everything from here. Now I'll advise you to just do this, delete everything. Okay, and you paste again. So I now see where the problem is coming from. I had copied a partial command. So I'm going to paste. So this is my command, Control Y and save. So I'll go back to my documentation and update this command. Okay, that is a weak command, and now we can proceed with our Nginx. You can proceed with our Nginx. Please make sure you verify stuff. So we are somewhere here. Yep, we are somewhere here. Okay, so I'll just delete. We don't need this. So yep. Okay. So successfully done. So what we actually did was we had to enable the Nginx site. And let's test and see first. Sometimes you will actually need to. Okay, perfect. So it returns our. So if you see, let me clear the key differences. When you want to test for Nginx, you're going to use curl HTTP localhost. You don't need to put any port again because it has been configured that it should come. Okay, you should select the default port, or you should go through the normal port. When I talk about the default port, the normal web port, port 80. Okay. So now if we copy the public IP and put on our browser, something needs to occur. Okay, something needs to occur. So but before we actually do that, let's proceed. Let's first of all now create this YAML file. So you need to create this YAML file to create the CI/CD pipeline. So you need this .git hub /workflow/deploy.yml. So you need to create this file. The name, it depends on you, okay? But you need to just follow that procedure. So I'll come here. This is my Git. Okay, so I need to create a new file inside that repository. Take note. I think I created it already. Perfect. So I'm not going to create it again. That is it. It's there already, but it's simple. I show you how to create files. So for order you to create file, you just need to come here. You take create file. Okay, you paste the name here. Okay, when you paste the name, before you actually save, go back here, copy this. Okay, copy this code. This is the code that you need. Just copy this as it is. You can read to understand. Okay, and you paste here. Then you commit changes. That's basically what you need to do. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that procedure. Okay, and the next thing we need to do is now we need to now create secret to link EC2 and the our GitHub repository, okay, so that you should give access to it. Take note, since we are using a public IP that changes whenever we restart or reboot our EC2, that will be the same thing for you. In the production level, you're going to use an elastic IP that does not change. Okay, so you need to create 2 new secret. So in order for you to do that, so access the GitHub repo, go to the settings of the GitHub repo, not settings of your general account. So you scroll down, you look for secrets, you go to actions. Okay, we need to create a new secret. Okay, as I said, give it a name as it is here. So I'm going to call it EC2-Host. I don't know how you want to call yours, but call it EC2-Host so that when you see it, you know that is a host. So we need what? The public IP of your EC2 host. So I'm going to copy that. If you're using an elastic IP, put it there. That is it. I'll save. And the next thing we need to do is we need to create another one, and we are going to call this EC2 what? SSH key. Okay, so we come down. I'm going to create a new secret. I'm calling it SSH key. So go to your computer, access the PEM key you created. You can open with anything of your choice. Copy everything you see there and copy. It starts with this begin RSA private key and ends with end RSA private key. So you paste here and use add secret. So after you must have done that, that is basically what you need to do. In case you don't do this, then you need to proceed by doing the manual method, which I don't recommend. Okay, I don't recommend that. So that is basically what is needed to set up your Node.js server for you to access a site, okay, that has been hosted on GitHub through EC2, managing using PM2 and otherwise. So our next phase is we need to test our site.